Hey everybody, I hope you're doing okay. It's Thursday, May 26th, and boy, do we have some big stuff going on at the moment. And I've been kind of getting the nudge from Spirit for the last couple of days to come on and just haven't had time in between clients to get there. But let me just talk a little bit about what's going on right now and what you may be experiencing. So, the first thing that I want to say is that you all are safe, and that is something that you need to bring down into your body in this moment. Bring it down into the root chakra. Breathe, I am safe, down into your being. The energies that are present right now are triggering a lot of really deep wounds for many of us that are making us feel very unsafe in different relationships, different ways of being, different situations. And this may be happening very subtly for you in your nervous system as anxiety, or it may be very pronounced. And you may be noticing it showing up in certain situations in a very pronounced way. But right now, we are working on clearing toxic patterns of abuse. These patterns go back in our family line many generations. They go back in our human history many generations. And they are even going into our soul lifetimes and our past lives and clearing those patterns of abuse. I have been working with clients over the last couple of weeks to go really deep into these hidden places. And I think that this is coming up right now because we can't take all of this density with us to the next vibration. I knew going into this month that it would be a little bit intense because we had such an expansive energy in April. We really got, especially at the end of the April with the first eclipse, a very good preview of kind of what's possible for us as individuals and what's possible for us as a collective. And then always when we have that huge influx of light, we have a huge influx of dark coming to the surface to be cleared. And this is maybe the most intense level of clearing that I've seen us do in a couple of years, this particular month. So if you've been feeling like some really weird shit is happening, you're not alone and you're not crazy. If you've been feeling like you're working on something that seems so systemic to your being, you're not crazy. Okay, we are approaching this clearing process this month from so many different angles. Oh, and by the way, we have Mercury in retrograde and we have a whole bunch of fire energy coming in to just kind of exacerbate everything. And so, what I've been witnessing is that there are some things that have been happening in my life for a long time that I'm just now kind of waking up to. That's not okay for me. And there's some very clear boundaries coming in. There's some places where I have to put my foot down and I have to claim my power and say this is not going to happen again. And I'm the only one that can do that. And so if you're feeling a little bit of that fire, this is what we want to channel this energy into, right? So it's very easy when we're clearing these kind of abuse patterns that are present right now to get caught up in the victim energy, right? And I know that many of you like myself have actually been victimized, right? And it's not to say that being with that part of you is not necessary, but we also have to alchemize that energy and we have to turn it into transformation in our lives. And this is kind of what we're being asked to do right now. That's why this dense energy is coming to the surface along with all this fire that says, what are you going to do? And many of us are at a major decision point right now. What are we going to give voice to? What are we going to give our power to? What are we going to give energy to? And what are we not? And the decisions that we are making right now are setting the stage for the next 6 months of the year, right? As we continue to move through all of these clearings that will keep coming up. But the intensity right now is so pronounced. And if that is happening for you, you have to take the time to process that intensity, right? So if you're somebody who's like me and you're used to going at 90 miles an hour all the time and just, moving through things and moving things really quickly, we're in a retrograde cycle, okay? You're going to have stuff come to the surface and then it's going to kind of sit there, right? They're giving me this image of like scum on the top of a pond, like it just sits there. And you're going to have to be with that for a period of time before it leaves. And if you're an empath, like I am, then you're probably feeling this very distinctly in the body. We are doing a lot of clearing on the throat chakra and the neck, especially right now. And we're doing a lot of work within our immune systems and our lymphatic systems to clear out the toxicity that comes with abuse. And I said at the beginning of the month that we would be working on this pattern or this theme of the repressed feminine coming to the surface, right? Those repressed emotions, those repressed feelings coming to the surface, and we wouldn't be able to ignore them. And boy, is that happening right now, right? You cannot push this stuff back down. It's like trying to push a beach ball back underneath the water. It's just going to pop right back up. Okay. So it's imperative that you are taking the time to feel whatever's coming up and be with whatever's going to come up. And if you can just give it a little bit of space and a little bit of compassion, just like you would ask for somebody else if you came crying to them, all you want is compassion. All you want is to be seen. That's what these unhealed parts of us are asking for right now. So pay particular attention to how you are showing up in your feeling landscape, right? And then what stories are you attaching to those feelings? Because we don't always need to understand the why behind what's coming up. Okay, I know it's wonderful to have that aha and that epiphany, and it makes you feel so much better and like you can move forward and okay, I can close that chapter. Sometimes we don't have that in the moment when we're feeling, and we just have to be present with what is. And the other thing that I want to talk about that may resonate for some of you, I know certainly it's been resonating with a lot of my clients recently. Anywhere where there's been something held in your body, specifically if you have an autoimmune condition or a chronic condition, many of you might be feeling a sense of urgency for healing around that right now. It might be coming to the surface. What I have witnessed is that within my own physical landscape, as these abuse patterns have come to the surface in my family line to be healed, and as I've witnessed different women in my family line shut their light down in order to appease the masculine, for example, I have seen a direct link and an almost embedding of that energy with my autoimmune condition. So I have a thyroid condition, I have an autoimmune condition. I also am working on clearing some toxic mold infection in my body. And what I'm witnessing is that these abuse patterns are intermingled with these physical immune system responses. And if you're in a place where you're trying to heal your immune system or just empower your immune system, maybe you just are feeling toxic in the body, it's a really good time to be doing that work to support the body, right? Supporting the lymphatic system, supporting the physical container, because these energies also get embedded in the physicality, right? Every genetic predisposition to something has a link to some sort of emotional trauma as well. So if you're working on clearing some of this abuse out, you can see why there would be a link to what's happening in your body. And it may be a challenge, right? You may be posed with the need to completely change your diet, to completely change what you're putting into your being again, right? Some of you have done this before, like me, and you're being asked to change it again, right? To up level again. We can't take this density in our bodies with us to the next vibration, because remember, we're moving towards light. We're moving away from having a physical body. Not saying that's going to happen tomorrow, right? But we're continuing to release density in our physical body, and we're moving to our crystalline body structure, our light body structure. And, there are many beings that I channel that have already passed through this transition, and they tell me that this is what happens, right? You have to clear the toxicity in the body. You have to clear the density in the body that's tied to emotional stressors and emotional traumas in order to rise in vibration. And so this is the process that we're moving through. And I knew going into this year that it was going to be a lot about us reclaiming our body and our health because of what we experienced over the last 2 years. But now I'm starting to understand that that's also tied into reclaiming our power from these abuse patterns. And if you look at what's happened recently this week with the terrible, terrible school shooting that happened, that is an example, right, of something that's clearing in our collective right now, that somebody so innocent as a child can be harmed by someone else's mental health challenges, and having access to firearms, right? And wherever you stand on that issue, just know that this particular event is an example of that hidden shadow, right? That hidden abuse, that hidden harm that is coming to the surface. Same thing with the reproductive rights. I talked about that at the beginning of the month. Anywhere where the feminine's been repressed as well, right? Repression and harm of innocence and repression and harm of the feminine. Those are things that are clearing out right now. It doesn't matter what gender you are. This is going to come up for you, okay? So regardless of what gender you are, if you identify as male, you're still working through this repressed feminine. There may be traumas or emotions or things that normally you can sweep under the rug and not talk about, and they're coming to the surface. And so this is what's present right now. Okay, we've got, like 5 more days of this month. Lean into it. I am feeling that June and July is going to be much lighter. We're going to have an ability to take a breath, right, to let some of this stuff integrate. But we're in the final stages of this huge purge. Stay with it, okay? Do your best not to check out. I'm on a very restricted diet right now, and I keep wanting to have sugar because the sugar numbs the feeling, right? But that's not what my body needs. My body needs me to stay in this really clear place of what I'm putting into it and giving it the fuel that it needs to help purge all of this energy. You may be going into other coping mechanisms, okay? You may be trying to check out in TV or social media. Notice your behaviors and do your best to overcome them. It's going to take some willpower. And please ask for help, okay? There are so many beings in the unseen realm that want to assist us in moving through this particular energy that we're clearing right now. Because remember, we are a part of a grander, greater universe here, right? As Earth shifts, so do the other parts of the universe and the other planets and the other species in other galaxy systems, okay? And if you're not into that, that's okay, but just know that's what's happening here, right? So as we continue to ascend, so do these other star families that we are connected to. And so everybody wants to help us, right? So call in if you believe in angelic support, if you believe in God, you believe in just source energy, you believe in earth energy, whatever you believe in, call on support to help you continue to stay the course to clear this energy. Let it be done, right? Let it be done. We're working on non-attachment and trust and letting go this month as well. So lean into all of these themes and trust that whatever you're moving through, whatever this painful thing is that's up for you right now, because I know it's up for many of us, it's healing something, right? Something is leaving that you don't need anymore, and you are closing the door on a way of being, right? And so if you've been having some grief come up, it's because there's probably a version of you or a way of being or a connection that you have or something that's falling away right now. And if you're like me and you don't like to let go of things, you want to hold on to things, then you might need to ask for help in that. Help in trusting this letting go process, because it can be so scary, right? It can be so incredibly scary. So just know that you all are not alone. You are loved, you are supported, and we will all get through this. I promise. I promise that the energies will lighten. We will get a break. I know we go in and out of these cycles, and sometimes when you're in them, you're like, oh my God, this is never going to end, but I promise you it will. And so just stay the course. Hang in there, everyone. I love you all so much. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this page wherever you're watching it. And one little quick announcement, if you want to do healing work with me, I have an amazing opportunity right now for you to win 2 free healing sessions. I have a book that I'm a part of that's launching and publishing on June 1st, and you can pre-order that book now, an autographed copy from me, which will be shipped directly to you. If you pre-order that book before June 7th, it's called Ancestors Within. Volume 3, you will be able to win 2 free healing sessions with me, which is a $350 value. The book is an anthology of 24 other healers plus myself giving information about how to claim the gifts of your ancestors, of your origins. And my chapter is about activating the healer within and empowering your healed inner child to help you move beyond any trauma that you have. And in the book, I share my story. And I also give you a tool, and you can go online and you can download that tool in audio if you want. And that's what all of the other healers have brought in as well. They give a story and they give a tool. And it's an amazing book because you can move through so much energy just by reading the book. Everybody gives a tool, everybody gives an activation, right? They tell their story, and it's a very inspiring thing to read. And so if that interests you, I'll put the link beneath this video so you can pre-order the book. It's $25, and that includes shipping, and it includes a copy of the ebook that you'll get shortly after June 1st. And then the copy will be mailed to you as soon as they come into my hands, which will probably be later on in June. And you'll be able to work with the book and all this amazing energy that these healers are bringing in into this Ancestors Within Volume 3. So more to come from me on other things, but just like and subscribe so that you can not miss any updates. And I hope you all have an amazing rest of May. Take really good care of yourselves. Really hang in there. I promise it's going to get lighter. It's going to get better. Just keep on keeping on. Okay? Bye, everyone.